What is up, YouTube? Jamie the Kid 00 here, coming to you guys with a tournament report / deck profile type thing of Sylvan's. I ended up going to a different locals hosted by my tournament organizer Jason, but in a different location in Stevenage. And I ended up, I spent about half of Saturday night, it was a Sunday locals, spent about half of Saturday night testing various concepts to take, and I could not settle on one of them. So in the end I just went, I'd been testing Jeff Jones Sylvan list from ARGCS Milwaukee, the one his list and his friend's list that actually won the event. I've been testing both of those, and Jeff's list was actually really standing out to me. It was the thing that was testing the best. So I figured, why not? Let's take this. I tested Hat and everything like that. I just couldn't get behind Hat. So I ended up taking this. I ended up going X1 in Swiss, losing to a Hat player, friend of mine. So losing to the best deck, so nothing to no complaints there. But two of my wins were against kind of random decks, kind of just random cobbled together decks, because my loss was round 2. So I played against a 1-1 individual. And then sadly, I did progress onto the top 8, but sadly, within the top 8, I came up against another Hat player, and my game 1 hand had 2 Hermitries in it with no spells. So it was, I was just stuck. I got a Coma Shrumo off, but that got me literally nowhere. It found me like a Marshall Leaf, and everything else went back to the deck. And then game 2, my hand is fairly clunky. I try and make a play with a Marshall Leaf, and it's stopped. He ice hands me. I still can't remove the ice hand because I have nothing that's going to make him not miss timing, but I have nothing that's going to remove it anyway. And then the next turn he proceeds to Majesty's Fiend me, and I can't get any big monsters on the field. I have no ways of getting the big trees out of my hand into the graveyard so that I could then Miracle Fertilizer them. I was just locked out by the Majesty's Fiend, and I proceeded to lose 2-0 in just 2 kind of unfortunate games. But enough of that. I'm probably going to have to put a timestamp at the start of the video to say, hey, skip to the deck profile. But sorry for those of you who watch this on their mobiles or without the annotations. Either way, I'm going to get into the profile. This is very, very similar to Jeff Jones' list. It is 1 card different. I did watch his video on justifying Cherub Sprout. And I do understand the mentality behind Cherub Sprout, but I am too much of a big advocate of Peacekeeper, so I did change the Cherub Sprout for the Peacekeeper, and I really like that change. I completely appreciate why Jeff will not have played it that way, and why his friend will not have played it that way. I just chose to play it this way of player preference, so call me bad if you want to. So for the monsters, I played triple Sylvan Hermitry. People said, won't this clog a lot? It did a fair bit, but the main mentality is you have so many ways of getting this out of your hand with Aurea, Mountain, and Charity, that it really shouldn't clog that much, and you're trying to rush to this with things like Lone Fire Blossom. So the only times it clogged were in the opening hands. It was never cloggy mid to late game. It was incredible mid to late game, and the advantage you can gain off of just activating this card and finding a plant is outrageous. So there's these guys. I played triple Sageakoya. Sageakoya, of course, far less cloggy, but actually far less focused upon in this list. You focus on Sage a lot less in the Jeff list, I've realised. 8s are your specialty in this list, and 7s are kind of something you can access, but not really something that you dominate over. So triple Sage was pretty nice, but that's something that I've learned. Apparently you cannot Sageakoya if the sending of the plant to the graveyard is isn't the only thing to happen in an effect. So say I sent a plant, I activated Princess Sprout, tributing itself to to excavate a card and then put itself on top. I couldn't use Sageakoya for that, and I can't use it for Hermitry, apparently. So that was something new. I was a bit silly on that. I mean, it should miss timing, but I'm fairly sure I read somewhere that it wouldn't, but rulings are rulings, and I'm really not the best on rulings still. So carrying on, played triple Marshall Leaf. Going back to 3 Marshall Leaf was actually something that I embraced quite readily, because triple Marshall Leaf is just really, really nice for easy, instant removal. The ability to remove some certain problem monsters in the game right now is great. So 1 card removal that you can stack with Charity and the Mountain. Really love playing it. Same goes for the triple Coma Shrumo. The only thing that made me really sad about the Coma Shrumo was I did actually play a game against Hat in top 8, and I resolved 2 Coma Shrumos. The first one hit a Morale Tack, and the second one hit the Sanctum, so that was absolutely depressing. Out of 4 back row, I hit the 2 artifact cards, and they single-handedly lost me the game. And while I guess there were points at which I shouldn't have really been Komo-Shrumoing because I knew he was playing Hat, I was left in a position where I could not play into 4 back row. I had to try and hit stuff, but I was just unfortunate enough to hit the morale tax. So, such is life. Even though I'd seen him put 1 back with duality, so I thought, does he have these? I don't know. So triple Komo-Shrumo, that was a thing. I played triple Princess Sprout. I mean, I keep giving reasoning, but I mean, this is a net deck. This is a net deck. I'll embrace that fact. But I feel the need to justify why everything was played anyway, because it's really, like, it's really different from the way I play it. Like, this deck doesn't go off as much, but it can still combo off. Triple Princess Sprout is basically just to make your Xyz plays really, really easy. People were arguing, like, why not 2 Princess and 1 Copy Plant? Because you can't stack Copy... my answer is because you can't stack Copy Plant and then Excavate it. And get the Copy Plant straight back. Princess is just something that bounces out, accompanies your big tree, unless you make the Felgrand for definite. So I love this card. I then played the One Piece Keeper because Lone Fire is a card, basically. It just gave me access to a lot of things, and made the Mech-Whip Engineer a lot more relevant in the extra deck, in my opinion. I then played double Lone Fire because Lone Fire is the key to the deck. It's so silly. And Lone Fire, Big Tree, Soul Charge is a dumb opening. Such a dumb opening. I heard excavating 3 cards from the top of your deck is kind of nice. So Lone Fires were dumb. The one Spore. This is not a tuner. You never use this as a tuner. I synchroed with this once. I Xyzed with this about 7 or 8 times. This is a level 8 Xyz monster. Xyz material. That's all this is to you in this deck. It just makes Felgrand. Continuing through, of course, the 3 Rose Archer. These were stunning throughout. I love this card. I would probably at least play 2 in my going off build, if not 3, when I'd actually change this back to my kind of Let's Go Dragons build. But Rose Archer was silly good. Similarly, I played Triple Veiler. Well, you know, I net decked Triple Veiler. Triple Veiler was okay. I wasn't a huge fan of them. I understand why they're in here, don't get me wrong. Because there are so many things that need to go off through Veiler. You can shut your opponent out of setting up their trap holes with their trap trickses. You can do all sorts to stop them, but it was so-so. I wasn't a huge fan of them, but mainly because I drew them when I didn't want them. That and some of my matchups really didn't lend themselves to Veiler. I don't know. And then continuing through, the last monster I played was Triple Curry Bandit, because Curry Bandit is dumb in this deck. I don't understand the people who say Curry Bandit is a card that's not worth playing in this deck. I think that they don't really understand how to play Sylvans if you don't want to play Curry Bandit. Like, people are like, oh, Curry Bandit's only good while Soul Charge is out, so don't play it because Soul Charge is going to get banned. If a card is good with another card, play it. Play it while you still can. So, like, sure, these might come out when Soul Charge goes, but for now, Soul Charge is a card, so why not give your Soul Charge huge amounts of fodder through this? That's why I like it. Like, it's a silly argument, because people have said this to me. I think the comment is still on my YouTube, saying, you shouldn't play this because it's only good with Soul Charge, and Soul Charge is going to get hit. I think I'll still play it. Because Soul Charge is still here. Yeah. Let me tell you why that's bad. For the spells, Triple Mount Sylvania, stacking cards for days. That's all I have to say. And its end phase effect just gets you going. End phase effect is just so good. Triple Charity. I heard moving 3 cards through your deck is crazy good. It is. The people who told me that were correct. Triple Miracle Fertilizer. Triple Reborn. Again, no complaints. Actually, I do have one complaint. This is awful if you don't have a way to get a big plant engrave. It's horrendous if you don't open Curry Bandit or Mountain or just a way to get a big plant engrave. So, otherwise it was great. When you do have a big plant engrave, you go with this card. This just goes in. And then finally we played 3 Super Reborn, because Super Reborn is cool. And setting up double Felgrand is nutty, and setting up Felgrand Dracosac is nutty. So that's why we play those. So yeah, 12 good spells, 6 reborns, 1 draw, 3 draw, and 3 stack cards. So it's kind of dumb. Right, for the extra deck, we have. I'm just going to change it back to what it was. 1 Armorion. Again, my list is pretty much identical to his. I never made this, but It's pretty cool with Spore. 1 Black Rose, because Black Rose is good. I nuked the field with this once, but it's kind of awkward to make, but you do make it occasionally. 1 Stardust. I never made this. 1 Scrap Dragon. I made this once, and then it seized into a guy with it. I used it to pop off some stuff. Oh no! I had Felgrand already. I made this. I had Felgrand level 8 Princess. I made this. Went to pop the Felgrand, detached 1, and then I overlaid into another Felgrand. So I had a Felgrand with 2 materials and Felgrand with 1. And then played the Leo and the Star Eater. Never made Leo, made Star Eater twice, and it was okay. Then for the Xyzes are of course the stars of the show. Mech-Equipped Engineer is actually the card I think that I made second to most compared to Felgrand. Felgrand is like, this deck is Felgrand Turbo, but I made Mech-Equipped Engineer so often. I wish I brought an English one, because so many people are asking to read it. But Italian is just so cool. But Engineer, 1 Draco, because there's so little room in this extra deck, you have to play like 1-ofs. It bit me in the arse not having 2 once, but that's why we had Big Eye, because Big Eye is cool removal too. I made this guy once. It was pretty damn cool. To steal a Grapha away, actually. I was playing against Dark Worlds, and I was all like, how do I set myself up? I've got a big tree and 2 sages. I've got Hermitry and 2 sages. How do I take his Grapha away from him? Oh, I go this guy, take his Grapha, and put it under a Felgrand. Oh, that's cool. I'll do that. And that's what I did, and it was dumb. 1 Aurea. I found out that in this version of the deck, you only need this when you're making a push, when you can really make profit off of it. So the 1 Aurea was enough. So this is 7s. For the 8s, 2 Felgrands, because Felgrand is your turbo. Felgrand is your end game. You want to go into this as fast as possible. So he's dumb. He is really dumb. And people should know that Felgrand is crazy. So 1 Alcei. Alcei was pretty good, especially seeing as this deck sides rivalries. And the ability to Wing Blast your opponent's cards back to the top of the deck when they're in a bad position against you, so that they're not going to be drawing out of it. They're going to keep drawing those bad cards and be in a horrific situation. So Alcei's pretty good in that. Heliopolis, this was dumb because I was like, make this guy detach 1. Do you have any response? No. Okay, I take away everything. I take away my Draco Sack tokens. I take away half my hand. I kill your entire field. You can't chain anything. Bye-bye. So Helio was great. And then the final card I played was number 15, Gimmick Puppet Giant Grinder. This card was silly good. My favorite game with this card was easily against... oh, sorry, I keep saying it was a Dark World player. It was a Dragon Ruler. It was a Lightsworn Dragon Ruler player who had me really quite beaten down. And I have a hand of oh, I've forgotten his name. I have a hand of Miracle Fertilizer and nothing else. And he has... Oh, sorry, I have Miracle Fertilizer, and I think a Mountain in play and a Plant. And what happens is I go... Yes. No, I have Soul... It's not Miracle Fertilizer, Soul Charge. Soul Charge Marshall Leaf, yeah. So I go... He's got Big Eye, he's taken my Draco Sack, and he has a JD sitting there, I'm fairly sure. Or a Diabolos. It's a big monster. I go... Oh, okay, if that back row is a breakthrough, which I know you play... I need to bait it out. I go Marshall Leaf. Please break through my Marshall Leaf. And he does. He breaks through my Marshall Leaf and I'm like, right, we're going in now. We're going to go Soul Charge. We're going to get back. I'm on 19. We're going to get back the big tree. Get Hermitry. Try to excavate. Okay, cool. It's bad. We don't really care about the excavate. Okay, now we're going to activate Spore, banishing the... banishing a Sageacoya. Now Spore is level 8. Make this. He used Big Eye to get my Draco Sack. He's on 17 because we've been progressively beating each other up throughout the game. He's on 17. I can go this guy, kill the Big Eye, and it gives me a game. He has 2 Necro Gardeners in grave and I think 2 JDs in hand, and I have to win that turn because otherwise I'm on 900. I have Swift Scarecrow, but I am losing. Like he can put so much damage on board. So I managed to make Game Over Puppet, kill his Big Eye, and it was so dumb. So that story alone is why I love this card, and it was just so daunting throughout the day, especially when you can make this to kill special summon monsters when you don't have stuff to tribute for Heliopolis. It gives you options, so I definitely love Giant Grinder. And I suppose I should go through... Oh yeah, Draco tokens. I should go through the side. I made a couple of changes from Jeff's side because I was told by my friends who'd heard of the locals before that it was quite populated with things like Gear, OTK, and other OTK-based decks. So I made a few changes based on that meta game. And one of those changes really paid off because Swift Scarecrow stopped me losing to JD big guy. So I played one fossil because there was only room for the one. It was kind of nice. I never actually drew it, but it was nice in theory. So one fossil. Triple Maxi, because Triple Maxi is great against the OTK decks, especially when it's coupled with double Swift Scarecrow. These were in here simply because this deck doesn't play traps, and I did not want to get degenerate OTK'd, so these were just going to go straight in, so I just didn't lose to stupid decks which are like, oh, okay, flip armor, I have Birdman, GG. So I didn't want to lose to those stupid situations. 2 Xyz Encore, because there are certain decks like Evil Swarms which will lock me out, which are very budget, so local players are going to have them. 2 Knock, these noble ones were for Hat, and they were for, what's his name, Gigia. It's just killing those decks off. Yeah, killing armor. Then Triple MST, because you need to side the MSTs, and then Double Rivalry, which was stunning. These were so good against Light Swans. So yeah, that brings me to about the end of this deck profile. I hope you've all enjoyed. I'm sorry to have brought you a net deck, but this is going to be a tournament diary, so it won't be passed off as my own deck profile. It's going to be a tournament report. I definitely enjoyed playing the deck. I can see where Jeff's going with it. I'm personally not the biggest fan of the build. Like, I kind of like the more go-offy build that lets you do more combo plays, but I can see the consistency in this build. I can see why it did so well at the ARGCS. It's really quite something, but it's not the way I play Sylvans. I find that Sylvans is a very subjective deck on the kind of play style and how you want to play it, but I definitely thoroughly enjoyed playing this deck. And I hope you do if you choose to copy it and move on with it. So yeah, guys, I hope you all enjoyed, and stay tuned. I'm going to be back with some more content. I've got quite a few things pre-recorded and uploaded on the channel. I've got more deck profiles coming up. And otherwise, I will see you guys next time with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Related content. This has been Jamie the Kid 00. Peace out. Bye-bye.